How many billionaires can you name? A few, right? There's Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and the list goes on. But how many, if any, Indian billionaires can you name? You might be surprised to hear that India has several incredibly wealthy families, and they live their lives like royalty. Mostly anyway. With net worths ranging from 28 billion to 92.6 billion US dollars. These families know no limits to life. From luxurious car collections, private planes and helicopters to a home so expensive, it outshines Buckingham Palace. When you think of life in India, you most likely think of slums, right? Incredibly densely populated areas where people are so poor they have no future prospects. Well, you'd be surprised to know that there are an estimated 140 billionaires in the country. A few of them are far more prominent than the rest. However, once you have reached billionaire status, it's not exactly smooth sailing. It would appear as if more and more of India's wealthy families are opting to leave their home country. Why? Quite simple. They are leaving in search of a better education for their children, fewer taxes, and over security concerns. In 2019 alone, it was reported that 7,000 millionaires left India in search of greener pastures. There are, however, 3 billionaire families who we doubt will leave their country, seeing that their pastures are already pretty green. So let's take a look at how these 3 specific billionaires live their lives, and what it's like to be a billionaire in India. Our first billionaire is Shiv Nadar, and he currently has a net worth of 28 billion US dollars. Nadar is the founder and chairman of HCL Technologies Limited and the Shiv Nadar Foundation. And while he might live a very luxurious life now, he has actually worked very hard for it. Plus, he gives back to his community. Nadar founded his company in the mid-1970s and transformed the IT hardware company into an enterprise by consistently reinventing his company's focus. Since the mid-1990s, he has focused his efforts on developing the educational system of India through the Shiv Nadar Foundation, which on a day-by-day basis is mostly run by his wife Kira. But what are the Nadar family's daily lives really like? With so many billions to spend, they must live in a pretty big mansion and drive some super luxurious cars, right? Well, Nadar's car collection is actually kind of basic, and for the most part, it appears as if he, his wife, and his daughter prefer to keep it low-key. Unlike the last billionaire on our list, the Nadars prefer to stay out of the public eye and seem to limit their spending. Nonetheless, Nadar has spoiled himself a little bit by buying a few cars. He owns not one, but 2 Rolls-Royce Phantoms, each valued at about 450,000 US dollars. Then there is his 6.8-liter twin-turbo V8 Bentley Mulsanne, valued at 310,000 US dollars. And a few more modest cars such as a Jaguar XJL and a Mercedes 500 SEL AMG. The Mercedes might not be considered a flashy, super expensive car, but it is a true classic. Powered by a 5-liter V8 engine, the 500 SEL was a must-have car during the early 80s. There is very little known about where exactly the Nadar family lives and what his home looks like, though we can assure you it looks nothing like the mansion of our number 1 billionaire. Be sure to stick around to hear about the most expensive mansion, not just in India, but in also the world. Billionaire number 2 is Gautam Adani. He sits on a rather large net worth of 77 billion US dollars. And let us tell you, this businessman loves fast cars. But before we tell you more, remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. In Adani's garage, you'll find quite a few sports cars and a few cars that people with only deep pockets can afford, such as the Ferrari California, priced at 202,000 US dollars. A few others in his collection are the Audi Q7, the BMW 7 Series, and the spectacular Rolls-Royce Ghost. The latter comes with a 6.6-liter twin-turbo V12 engine and a price tag of almost 312,000 US dollars. This might once again be a small car collection, if we can even call it that, but it's unique and most definitely luxurious. How has Adani managed to make his billions, and why do we think it's unlikely that he will follow suit and leave the country? Much like billionaire number 1, Shiv Nadar, Adani's roots and source of money lies firmly planted in India. He is the chairman and founder of the Adani Group, which is a multinational conglomerate involved in port development and operations within India. He also owns the coal mine Abbott Point and has a jaw-dropping 74% stake in Mumbai Airport. He is definitely not leaving that behind. While his car collection might be somewhat basic, it's not exactly like he only travels by road, if you know what we mean. Being one of the richest businessmen in India, he needs to travel quite often and clearly prefers to do so in private and in style, which, come to think of it, might be why he acquired shares in the airport. Over the years, he has acquired a few aircraft and helicopters, such as a Bombardier private jet, which comes with a starting price of $50 million, a Beechcraft, and a Hawker. Not to forget about his super luxurious Augusta Westland AW-139 helicopter worth almost $10 million. While Adani also prefers to keep the details of his home private, we can confirm that it's not exactly your average 3-bedroom house. With an aircraft and helicopter fleet, mansion, and several luxurious cars, how much more can the richest billionaire in India have or want? The answer is so much more. Coming in at the top spot is a man with the name Mukesh Ambani. With a net worth of just under $100 billion, Ambani is the ultimate billionaire. The richest billionaire in all of Asia, actually. And yes, he lives large. Very large. Amongst others, Ambani has a collection of 168 cars, and one that is enough to make anyone jealous. As for his home, well, he and his family lives in a home that is considered to be the most expensive privately owned property on Earth. Let's start at the beginning though. How did Ambani make his money, and is India in danger of losing him and his money? We highly doubt it, but be the judge for yourself. The now 64-year-old Ambani is the chairman, managing director, and largest shareholder of Reliance Industries Limited, which is a Fortune Global 500 company and India's most valuable company by market value. It has several subsidiaries such as Reliance Retail Limited. During the 80s, while studying towards an MBA at Stanford, Ambani's father called him back to India in order to help him grow the family business. His father believed that real-life skills were harnessed through experiences and not by sitting in a classroom. Needless to say, the move back to India worked out pretty well for Ambani. Say what you want about the man and his spending habits, which you're about to see is a little out of control, but he has more than paid his dues and truly worked his way up from the bottom. Today, Ambani absolutely loves flashy cars, so much so that he owns 168 of them, and they are all parked at his $2 billion home. Yes, you heard that right. Ambani and his family live in a house worth $2 billion. So if you were to ask us the question again, what's it like being a billionaire in India? Our answer would have to be absolutely amazing. Before we tell you more about his skyscraper of a mansion, let's take a look at his car collection. His most loved car is said to be his Mercedes Maybach S560, worth a staggering $1.5 million. Then there is his Porsche Cayenne, Bentley Bentayga, and Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe. It's clear the man has very deep pockets. As for his home, it's nothing short of breathtaking. In 2012, Ambani and his family moved into Antilia. It's the name of his mansion. It is considered to be not only the most expensive home in India, but the most expensive privately owned home in the world. And in case you thought we'd forgotten to take Buckingham Palace into account, we haven't. Remember, Buckingham Palace isn't exactly a privately owned property. Antilia was built to have 27 stories. Though because of its high ceilings, the mansion is much closer to the height of a 60-story building. Apart from the 6 family members who live there, Antilia is also home to no less than 600 employees of the family. These employees consist of chefs, housekeepers, assistants, and departmental managers. Is he living the high life? Literally, or what? We're quite confident that Ambani won't be one of the billionaires eager to leave India anytime soon.